so much for that introduction. And welcome, everyone. Welcome to this, the 28th Annual Crystal Ball. 28 years. This evening, as you gathered, is our tribute to the Beatles, starting with their very first performance on The Ed Sullivan Show. I have to admit, I too was one of those half-crazed teenage girls that sat glued to the TV, screaming and sobbing hysterically every time the camera went on my favorite Beatle, Paul McCartney. We all had one. But as mesmerized as I was, I had no idea that I was watching what would become one of the greatest acts that rock would ever deliver. To me, the Beatles represented a quintessential reaction to a monumental musical revolution, a revolution that spanned decades. They were interesting times in that they were years that were fraught with unrest and protest. In the 60s, we had the Civil Rights Movement. The 70s, the Women's Rights Movement. And the 80s gave us the Disability Rights Movement. And although they were three distinctly different voices, there was a commonality in these causes. They all advocated for integration, equality, and attitudinal change. I have to tell you, I am so proud of Reach for the Rainbow and the role that we played evoking change. Back in the early 80s, we were pioneers. We broke barriers, we opened closed doors, we gave a voice to many who were silenced, and we made a difference. And we have continued to make a difference in the lives of thousands of children and young adults with disabilities across this province for over 30 years. Thank you. Thank you. Today, I guess we can safely say that integration is the norm. We now have laws that equalize opportunities for everyone, more or less, and attitudes have come a long way. And they've changed, for the most part. But sadly, I fear we still have intolerance and prejudice, discrimination, even ignorance. And for these reasons, Reach for the Rainbow must continue to be diligent in our ongoing commitment to provide inclusionary camp experiences for these young people. They deserve to be kids, kids without labels. They deserve to have fun and play with their peers, and maybe even become a little more independent, away from the loving but often protective eyes of their parents. And speaking of their parents, they deserve a break. As simplistic as that sounds, this break or this respite that we make available to many families is the very thread that keeps them together. It makes a difference. And that's what this evening is all about. It's about us making a difference. So with that, I want to thank all of you again for joining us. Have a wonderful, wonderful time tonight. And please remember to be generous. Thank you. Thank you.